Alright guys, what I'm going to talk about is Marcum LX-5. Something I've noticed about on YouTube. I've seen people using them, but nothing really talking about them. When you get the Marcum LX-5, I'm sure you've already searched, you know, as far as 2,500 watts of power and what the specs are about it. Let's talk about what's inside the box. When you get it, it'll be wrapped in plastic. When you pull it out, that's exactly how the unit will come. We'll start back here in the back. On the Marcum, if you open it up, you'll notice that inside of it, the battery, everything's already ready to go. That's the good thing about this machine. You also have a charger. The charger will plug in, go into the wall. It has a meter to tell you if it's 100% or where it's at on charge. You'll notice that the red wire is going to be unplugged. So what you want to do is you go ahead and take that red wire and plug it up. In this case, it tells us that we're at 100%. I'll go ahead and move this out of the way. Everything's sealed up. It's got the case with it already. When you first open up the top panel, you'll see the Marcum inside. Now on my machine, what I've done, how I fish, I definitely don't want to mess up this transducer. I just keep it in a small nylon sock to keep that transducer from getting scratched up or messed up. As you're looking at the Marcum when you first get it, you'll notice that you have your gain control, zoom. Once you press zoom, you have your up and down buttons, your IR, or basically what's going to set your different frequencies if you're around other machines. NBT, or narrow band transducer. The transducer here comes with it comes either an 8 or a 20. The 20 will shoot you a wider band, and the 8 is a narrower band for deeper water if you're on some type of a drop off or something like that. You also notice that over on the far right hand side you have SLF or SFL, which basically is your SuperFine line. I've already found out, after taking this out several times, I don't even use that. I'll normally go into the zoom. Good thing I like about this machine is the zoom. I can put it either down at the bottom or anywhere in that water column I want. Down on the bottom you have basically your on and off, as well as your different depths that you want: 20, 40, 60, and 80. If you push zoom and turn it on, the machine will come on to a test mode. What you'll see is the red line on the bottom, or indicating bottom. The little yellow line is your jig, moving it up and down, and you'll see a fish coming off the bottom. Those lines that indicate fish will either be yellow, green, or red, depending on where they're at underneath the transducer. If I have that transducer fixed up and there's a fish over here, it's going to show yellow. As it moves closer to that center cone, it'll turn green, and then it'll turn red. If it's moving away, it'll do the exact opposite. That's how you know if those fish are coming in and going out. I've had lines just suddenly show up yellow. The line will suddenly turn green, it'll turn red, and then vice versa, and then go away. I know that that's a fish that just swam up underneath my transducer. That right there is going to be your test mode. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off and turn it back on, and I'll go over the zoom with you just by turning it off. Now these guys use these machines. They'll go into an ice hole and they'll drop it in the water, they'll check a hole, and they'll move around at different locations. It's not going to hurt this machine if I turn it on just for this short video. I go ahead and I turn it up, and I'm going to put it on 20. Once I drop this transducer into the water, I'll then have that red line will stay where it's at, indicating the top of the transducer or bottom of the transducer, and we're going to say that it comes down here to 10. Once it comes down to 10, any fish that are inside that water column right in here will show up as one of those lines as I was telling you about. And you'll notice that those lines will come and disappear. They'll turn different colors. It's just telling you what those fish are doing. Zoom feature. Once I go into zoom, you'll notice that red line came on. That's because the first time you push that button, what you're doing is you're going into that 5-foot mode. meaning that there's going to be a 5-foot window that I can move. And I'm going to move that 5-foot window down. Now you'll see those yellow lines. I'm moving those yellow lines all the way down to where that bottom line is just above bottom. Now, what I've done is I've now split that screen. This entire section right here is going to be that 5-foot level, meaning this is now my bottom, and then 5 foot up it's going to show me a close-up of what's on the bottom. If for some reason those fish are up around the 4 or 3 foot mark, what I'll do is I'll just simply go back up and I'll put those lines right there in between those marks. Now I've zoomed into that section of the water. Anytime that you're you don't know exactly, or you've been fishing there for a while, and say I've got it on the bottom and I saw those fish come up and I've moved them, now I've got other fish coming in, just by touching that button I can see, it'll blink a few times, I can see where that zoom mark was. And that's basically, you know, your really basic information as far as how that thing reads. When you first put it in the water, you have your gain. What I'll do is I'll drop it in the water and I'll slowly raise my gain up. Now right now I've got that gain off. I'll slowly raise the gain up. As I raise that gain up, what I'm doing is I've got my jig a couple feet below the transducer, and I'm waiting for it to turn into a yellow line, or I'll see that yellow line. I can actually move that jig up and down. Once I move that jig up and down and I see that that yellow line is moving up and down with it, I've pretty much got it set. I'll go ahead and I'll drop that jig all the way to the bottom, and I want to see that yellow line continually moving all the way to the bottom. If for some reason it disappears somewhere in there, I'll just slowly turn that gain up just a little bit more. I've already found that I do not have to go much above 2.5 or just above 2.5 to see my jig all the way down to the bottom. I've fished about 20 foot of water so far. I'll go ahead and reel it back up. I've got everything set. Everything's good to go. Now I'll go ahead and I'll start fishing. Hopefully this will help you out as far as, you know, I've tried to find some YouTube videos on this. I've not found a whole lot that really shows you the machine. I am going to have some more videos coming up. I'm going to go out fishing tomorrow and I'm going to actually use it. You can use this machine in hard water, you know, or open water. It doesn't matter. I mean, it just depends on how you want to fish it. I'll show you tomorrow how I have it fixed up and how I'm fishing it after the ice has already came off. Hope that helps you out, guys.